Did you know actor Jim Caviezel, who played Jesus in Passion of the Christ, was struck by lightning while recreating the famous Sermon on the Mount speech? The strike resulted in a 10-year recovery process, including 2 heart surgeries, one being open heart surgery, as well as loads of medication to heal. Did you know actor... All right, Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, glory, and fear to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rahakwadash. I also want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from. And peace and salutations to the Lord's hopeful elect, back at it through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Just another quick epistle. And I think I remember hearing about this, but the movie Passion of Hamashiach, right, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. I thought it was Mel Gibson. I don't know. Whoever the dude was that played Yahweh Shai, I remember hearing about it. But this dude got struck by lightning trying to be a image of Malak Yahweh Shah, again, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. It says in '04, while filming the movie The Passion of Hamashiach, actor Jim Caviezel was struck by lightning on the freaking set, man. All right, while he was giving the so-called Sermon on the Mount. Shit. Whew. And just through the spirit, man, hey, the Lord is not mocked. And I'm not saying that them making that movie was just a direct mockery against Yahweh Shema Shai, because it did give us a picture, you know, to put with the words, man, and it was horrific. I watched it last night again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Shai, but we do know, for us to have learned the wickedness of Esau Edom and how he gets down and how he has whitewashed, quote unquote, the true image of Yahweh Bahashim Shah and the Israelites, man, that they're dark skinned people for the most part, and not then they don't have that lack of melanin like the Edomites, man. So they've put all this imagery out throughout all these years of lies, man, idolatry. And that's kind of what the spirit led me to why the spirit led me to do this epistle. This is Deuteronomy 32 and 39. See now that that's Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, but Yahweh, right? Even I am He, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make it alive. I wound and I heal. So who wounded that guy while he was supposed to be supposedly, playing Malak Yahweh Shai? It was Yahweh, that struck him with that lightning, because we're reading that here in the scriptures, man. All right, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai struck lightning on this guy, and while he was filming, trying to play like he's Yahweh Shai, man. All right, nobody's worthy to even portray what the king went through, man. And like I say, man, it's horrific, the imagery that they did manage to get. But I saw the crown of thorns that they had in the movie, and then I saw the replica of that military dude. What's that? Sean Ryan, I believe is his name, man. And that crown looked way different than the one that was in that movie. That thing was huge, man. It was huge. I mean, and Call Halal, Malak Yahweh Shai, the water Malak Yahweh Shai for that sacrifice, man, because it was bad, man. It's probably way worse. And because the scriptures tell us that Yahweh Shai was marked more than any man, just from head to toe, man. He was just massacred, man, just mutilated, and it was just horrible. But that guy that tried to represent Malak Yahweh Shai, and it's no doubt that you can't deny that was from Yahweh Shema Shai, a lightning strike. I guess a punk individual will give reverence to so-called Mother Nature. All right, and that ain't nothing but some idolatry. We know it was Yahweh Shema Shai that put that lightning struck that dude, because he was playing like he was his only begotten son. We don't give you know what I mean? And that's just how the Lord get down. The Lord, let me see here in the book of Galatians. And ultimately, it's, the spirit led me, because a lot of our people come in a mocking spirit. If you're not taking this warning seriously, if you're not taking the names Yahweh, Yahweh Shai seriously, our law, statutes, and commandments seriously, then you're basically in the spirit of mocking the Lord. Why? Because the prophets are out on the highways and byways telling you right from wrong. This is Galatians 6 In verse 7, be not deceived. Yahweh Bahashem Hawashah is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, he shall also reap. So Lord willing, we want to sow seeds of humility, meekness, fear of the Lord, and hopes that the Lord one day restore us fully. All right, but if you sow these seeds of discord, deceit, destruction, 2/3, man, of idolatry, not caring, not reverencing the name, still calling upon idols. All right, the Lord is not going to deal with you, man, and it's not going to go well for you here pretty soon during Jacob's trouble, man. Okay. Let's go to Second Esdras. Second Esdras 16 and 54. And remember that movie. Is it called Passion of Hamashiach Yahawashah? No, it's a name that's supposed to represent the only begotten son, but it ain't truly really representing him the correct way. Because why? I mean, you guys so-called white people portraying the Israel period. Not only Malaki Hawashah, but the rest of the Israelite wasn't nothing but some. I mean, it was a couple of dark-skinned people in that Passion of Hamashiach movie, but for the most part, they were all Edomites, man, looking dudes, man. All right, so the Lord not mocked. Matter of fact, Second Ezra 16 and 54. Behold, the Lord knoweth all the works of men, their imagination, their thoughts, and their hearts. So the Lord knew what their true intentions was for putting that movie out. It was to keep the people whitewashed. All right, they should have put the true image that he was a dark-skinned man. And this ain't about color, but it is about you guys lying and trying to hide the truth, man. If they, and because the elites know about the Israelites, man, and our complexion, all right, our melanin, and they have whitewashed, and that's what it was all about. And you know, that's one reason I believe that the Lord did go ahead and strike that guy on the freaking set, man. All right. And it ain't like the Lord struck him after the movie was filmed or when he was at the crib. No, he struck him while he was giving the Sermon on the Mount, as if he was Yahweh Shai. You supposed to be representing the king, right, Bill? You know what I mean? Nah. Yahweh say, nah, we're not doing that. Boom. And he was effed up for about 10 years, man. You know what I mean? And that's the terror of the Lord. This is what we tell our people. That'll happen to you wicked 2/3 Israelites. You wicked 2/3 Israelites that don't want to repent. They don't want to serve Yahweh Bahashem Hawashah. Lord gonna give you over to them strange calamities. You can't shoot your motherfucking way out no lightning strike, man. That's, you know what I mean? That look like it's direct from Yahweh Bahashem Hawashah. Boom. That's a terrible thing. You done pissed the Lord. You know how angry the Lord has to be at you to send down a freaking lightning strike? That's directly from the heavens, my God. It's one thing for the Lord to put a spirit on a man to unalive you, especially with the sword. But if the Lord let that power from the heavens come down and he strike you directly, boy, you done did something wrong. Boy, you done did something wrong. Okay. And this is the terror of the Lord, in which we're trying to warn to the 2/3 of the nation of Israel, or at least the ones that's behaving like they're 2/3 of the nation of Israel, that the Lord is to be feared. He's to be obeyed, because he will strike your ass. And you guys are mocking Yahweh Bahashem Hawashah, taking the name of the Lord in vain, saying whatever you want to call the Lord, it's okay. It's not. Let's go to the book of Haggai 1 and 2. And it reads, thus speak the Lord of hosts, saying, this people say, the time is not come. That's the spirit that our people in 2/3 of the nation of Israel. They saying, hey, these things are far off. When I first came into this truth, even before I received the name Yahweh Yahawashah, Lord was already supping with me, letting me see that the world was coming to an end. And I said, I went up into that harlot house that I was with, that I grew up in, and I went and told my so-called pastor, which is a so-called black woman, and I was trying to tell her what it is. And her reply was exactly what we're reading here. I don't know if he coming in my lifetime or not. What the hell? What type of weak ass spirit is that? You guys are comfortable here. That's why you don't want the end to come. You're not really serving the true power. That's why you don't want the end to come. You around here serving and worshiping an idol. So you don't have no true strength. You don't have no rock, no foundation. Yahweh Shai is that. Y'all don't have him. The time is not come, the time that the Lord house shall be built. And we're living that right now, through the prophets, prophesying in the name of Yahweh Shema Shah. And this is just not a game. And not only did I revisit Malak Yahweh Shah's sacrifice, but I revisited the sacrifice of the apostles and how they was all put to death except John, but they tried to boil the brother, you know what I mean, and couldn't do it. And they sent him to the island of Patmos, and John got that revelation. But the rest of the Lord's followers, man, his disciples turned apostles, man, they gave it to him, man. And Yahweh Shai taught his disciples turned apostles that, just like he taught us, like, you know what I mean, we're getting ready to go through the same thing. So the hell with a woman, the hell with being a family guy, right? It won't be a family guy on this raggedy earth, man. It's time for us to show and prove and fulfill destiny. That is the nature of a man. See, women and the children don't know shit about that. We are getting ready to fulfill our destiny. Y'all destiny was to be whores and to get judged. We trying to be returning to God's. I don't know what the hell y'all are doing, you 2/3 Israelites. We don't know what you doing, Eve. But obviously, this ain't for you. This royalty, this rulership, this ain't for you. So you just need to get out the way, because we're gonna push you out the way anyway. Thus saith Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah, man. All right, in relation to the great tribulation, Jacob's trouble, what you got going on? The Lord said these things will happen. Matter of fact, Matthew 24th chapter, and we'll start at verse 6. 24 and 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. These are events preceding the Lord's second coming. Right before he comes back, the Lord said all these things were going to happen because his disciples turned apostles inquired, when will you come back? What are going to be the signs of your second coming? When will you come back and get us? And remember, and man, I was in the spirit last night looking and man, they got some decent AI videos. Of course, they whitewash AI videos, but if you got the spirit upon you, man, it's some decent AI videos that go into a lot of biblical history, and it puts the imagery with the story. We have the story, but now you can put a little imagery behind it and it hit a little bit harder, you know what I mean? So we got to remember what we're up against, because this is not a game. The Lord is not mocked, and everybody that took the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai in vain, starting with you Israelites, you're done for, man. You're done for. We're just the messengers, man. We're just the messengers. Matter of fact, I'm gonna stack that in the book of Isaiah with our people saying, "Hey, the time is not come." It's not going to happen in our lifetime. And we're saying it's looking like it is. And if you really cared, you would desire this. So it's evident that you're probably not the Lord's hopeful elect. This is Isaiah 30 and verse 9. That this is a rebellious people. You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you're very rebellious and sadists, which means stupid, lying children. So you're rebellious. You're a bunch of liars. Children that will not hear the law of the Lord. Okay, this is what they say. Verse 10, which say to the seers. Who are the seers? The prophets, the ones that's blessed with the vision to see the future and to see wickedness. See not. So this is what they say to the prophet. Don't see. Close your eyes. Don't tell us that a mark of the beast is coming. They finna make us take a device, which they don't care. They gonna do it anyway. They just trying to front. Hey, don't tell us that we got to go through a great tribulation. All the other nations, don't tell us that we're going into captivity under you so-called black and brown people. Y'all got us effed up. Oh, well, doesn't matter. We'll say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. They don't want to hear what's right. They don't hear thus saith Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Speak unto us smooth things. Prophesy us deceased. They want to hear that prosperity gospel. They want to be told, turn to your neighbor, all right, and tell them this weak ass joke. They want to praise dance and looking like mimes and shit. You know what I mean? Borderline club dance. Jacob there borderline ticking on their ass in so-called church. Just giving it to him, right? Talking about he prayed dance. Boy, you getting off. Boy, you getting off. You know what I mean? Quit playing it and pass it through one time for him, Jay. This is just a harlot. This is a clown show anyway. Go ahead and give it to him one time. Eat him up, Jay. Because this is a clown show. All right? But that's a spirit that our people come in. They rather hear the smooth things. They rather for us to prophesy the seats. They don't want to hear the harshness of the scriptures. They don't want to hear the fullness that is Yahweh Bahashim Shai. Yeah, the Lord blesses and He be merciful, but the Lord also killeth, man, and He wounds. So that's balance, right? And that's what the servants of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai have, that truth. The whole role, we understand it now, that the Lord does good but also evil. Therefore, He has Esau Edom out here doing his own thing, right? Call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. The Lord is not a man that He shall lie, and He is not mocked. All you people that have took the name of the Lord in vain, y'all are done for. We're sick of it, and we finna push the line, man. All we got next, and we're gonna call the play out. All right, we got that persecution, mark of the beast, World War III, and then pretty soon you'll see what we said come to pass. You're gonna see Malachi Hawashai come in these vehicles, all right, that you've never seen before. Those vehicles that the Lord allowing them to see and things, them ain't the ones that the Lord coming back with, man. You know the Lord got some. He probably ain't even drove these things yet. You know what I mean? Brand new, just ready for the second coming, man. You know it's finna go down, man. You know that angel gonna open, hey, with that trumpet plate, man. It's going down, man. And there's no telling how it's really going to look. We meditate on it, we speak it, we've heard we've seen the visions, all right, that brothers have had through the spirit of Pop Yahweh Shema Shai, but it can't be compared to actually seeing it and living it. You know what I mean? The Lord's coming back with great glory. All that coming in on the donkey days over with, my God. And guess what? All that us, the servants being upon horses and vice versa, all that shit, upside down shit, is finna be over with too in relation to the Lord's hopeful elect. All we got to do is follow the King on home, man. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Till next time, Shalom.